Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan Mossor. That is one of my best friends, David Kahoun, and you're locked into another episode of the Commissioner's Couch Fantasy Football Podcast. Tonight is Season 2, Episode 14. And somehow, David, 27 episodes overall so far for this podcast. We are moving along. Great number. 27 episodes of building this thing from the ground up. Breaking down film, debating rankings, arguing over sleepers, and trying to make sense of the chaos that is fantasy football. And tonight we're doing something that always brings out the best conversations, maybe some bold takes and some honest reactions as well, because tonight we are going to do a mock draft, another one. No segments, no news rundowns, no veterans winners or losers this week. Check out our previous episodes for those, please. Just one thing and one thing only, and that's a 2026 rookie Superflex live on the couch, start to finish. This is the format that separates the cautious from the confident, spreadsheet warriors from those gamblers who just go with their guts, the managers who play it safe from the ones who swing for the fences. I truly think I love Superflex. Superflex,
I'm excited.
It changes everything. Quarterbacks value skyrockets, of course. Roster construction becomes a puzzle. Every pick forces you to decide whether you're drafting for ceiling, stability, or pure upside. It's where Superflex strategy becomes real. Where rookie tiers, actually matter, and where your entire draft philosophy gets put on display. And tonight we are running through it all. 2 rounds, right, David?
2 rounds.
We're doing 2 rounds today.
Yep.
12 teams each round. Every pick, every debate. We're no shortcuts. We are going to have the unfiltered version of what a rookie Superflex draft looks like when you're sitting on the couch with your best friend trying to build a dynasty roster. That you can actually win something. So settle in, get comfortable, grab whatever you're drinking tonight, and let's run through this 2026 rookie Superflex mock draft.
Let's do it. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I've really actually never played in a Superflex league before in all the years I've done fantasy. So I'm excited to do this mock for myself as well.
Blame TJ.
So learn about it. Honestly, no, I probably should blame myself because I've never ventured off into trying a Superflex league.
I love Superflex.
But I think this year I'm going to do it. I'm going to join one. So yeah, I'm excited about it. But hey, if you've been following us this whole time, you know that this is our second mock draft that we're doing, more focused on the dynasty aspect for now. But yeah, we've had a lot of fun episodes breaking down the draft, breaking down the prospects, getting people ready for fantasy football and just
all
the NFL
veteran impacts, like everything, man.
Yeah, everything. And so, yeah, if you're liking what we're putting out, please go ahead and give us a follow. We are on all the socials. So X, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, you name it, we're there. So go give us a follow, subscribe to us, turn on your notifications. We want to be where you are. And then we're also in podcast form too. So not only can you catch us live on Thursday nights, but you can also catch us if you missed us afterwards, wherever you get your podcast from. So go ahead and subscribe to us there and follow us. You're not going to want to miss what we have going on. So
please go and subscribe, guys. Even if you don't necessarily listen to us on Spotify and you're watching us on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, just follow us, please. It helps us out so much. We are truly grateful. We work so hard to put out the best content for you guys, and we are just so grateful for the turnout every single week, and we want to continue to build that and help that grow. So with your support, we can do that. We greatly appreciate it.
And dare I say, later this summer, we're going to include you guys in some of these things coming on. We want to know what questions you have as we lead into the NFL season. Maybe we might do a fan mock draft, see how that goes. So there's some things like that. You're not going to want to
do a listener league too, which is important. So if you want to be a part of that, hold on. I want to show you something.
Yes,
real quick.
I want to see the trophy. I need to see it.
I just bought it. It is not. It does not look good, but it will.
It's not done yet, but that's okay. I still want to see the prize.
The hardware. So I have a trophy that we're going to do for the Dynasty League, for our listener league, and this is it.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. This is a massive trophy that is literally taller than Ryan Mossor himself. It's 6 feet tall, and it is awesome. We're going to have whoever wins the league every year, their name on the plaque down at the bottom, and you get to win some huge bragging rights.
Trophy, man.
It's exciting. I'm really excited
3
for that.
tiers. So what we'll do is we will eventually have a listener league, and we'll put a plaque on that. I'll make it look all nice and stuff. And then if you beat me or David, you will get your name on that plaque forever, and it'll be on that trophy. So it's just a fun little thing we're gonna do. Very
it's a big
excited
if
about
though.
it.
If they beat us, big if.
Well, be me. I want to say you.
Okay. All right. Well, shall we get into
No, hold on.
Oh,
Hold
okay,
on.
sorry. Getting ahead of
Also, we are brought to you by Mossor Moments Photography. It's my company. We are a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland who specialize in providing the best wedding photos in Northeast Ohio. Check out our website at mossormomentsphotography.com. That's MOSSOR momentsphotography.com. Please check us out.
Wah, wah, wah. They are great at what they do, so please go check them out. All right, now are we ready to jump in?
Let's do it, man.
All right, should we get some background music into it?
Okay.
Okay, well, first, let's do this. All right, we are going to jump into our mock draft.
Hold on. I want to explain what Superflex is before we jump into it. All right. So before we actually start calling out these picks, guys, I want to slow things down a little bit. David's ready to jump in here, but
I'm so excited.
Slow it down a little bit for anyone who might be hearing the word Superflex for the very first time, because if you've only ever played a normal regular fantasy league, a redraft league, this format can feel like something, different. If like someone quietly changed the rules when you weren't looking. So, in a standard league, you've got the one flex spot. That's the catch-all position where you can slide in a running back, a wideout, or a tight end. That's pretty simple. But in super flex league, that spot gets supercharged. You're allowed to put a quarterback in that slot as well. And once you open that door, the entire game shifts. Quarterbacks already score more than everyone else in fantasy football. Even the guys who struggle still tend to outproduce, the middle tier running backs and wide receivers. So the moment you give managers the option to start two quarterbacks in your weekly lineup, the whole board tilts in my opinion. Suddenly, the most stable position in fantasy becomes the most, contested resource. And, that's the heart of the Superflex basics, I would say. The part that really matters, I think you're not really required to start two quarterbacks, but you're almost always going to want to, because the gap between a second quarterback and your next best flex option is usually big enough to to swing matchups. That's where QB scarcity comes into play as well. There are only 32 starters in a league, and once you factor in injuries, benchings, bye weeks, huge thing for Superflex, and that number shrinks fast for quarterbacks. So when you hear us talk about draft pressure, quarterback runs, or why someone reached earlier than you expected, that's why Superflex drafts force you to think differently than regular redrafts. You can't treat quarterbacks like an afterthought. You can't assume you'll find one later. That late round QB mindset. Shout out JJ Zacharyson. Check out his podcast. And you definitely can't walk out of the early rounds without a plan. That's the entire foundation of a Superflex draft strategy. If you're brand new to this format, don't worry. You're going to pick it up quickly. Just remember this. In Superflex, quarterbacks aren't just important. They're the engine of the whole thing. And tonight's mock draft is, built around that reality. So now that I've set the table, let's get into it, David. Let's start this.
Yeah. Do you want to real quickly also cover like the difference between the Superflex league and a Superflex tight end premium league as well?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Superflex is Superflex. It's the extra quarterback for your flex spot that you can add. Tight end premium is exactly what it sounds like. It sets a premium for that tight end position. So for tight end premium, say like obviously the top tight ends are going to be worth a lot more. Usually, say like you have a Superflex tight end premium PPR. And the TEP tight end premium is 2. Okay. So your PPR, you're going to get point per reception. If your tight end premium number is 2, that means you're going to get 2 points per reception for that specific position in tight end. So guys like Brock Bowers, Trey McBride, Harold Phantom Jr., Sam Laporta, just to name a few of the top
Travis
guys.
Kelce back in the day.
Travis Kelce, exactly. Yep. Those guys, not only are they going to get a point for the catch like a normal receiver would, but they also get an additional point because they're a tight end making a catch. So there are even more and more variants that you can go through with just different leagues and stuff. And we're going to go through a ton of them. But yeah, Superflex, we're going to focus on that today, specifically a rookie Superflex. We're only drafting these rookies from the 2026 draft. And like I said, it is quarterback minded for sure for this. So, consider that when you're looking at where we draft these guys compared to, ADP, it might be a little different. You're going to draft even some mid questionable quarterbacks a little higher because you obviously want that upside. So
Yeah. All right. So let's jump in. I'll get a little background music going for us to enjoy it.
okay, who's going first?
I'll go first. I think that sounds fun.
Okay.
All right. So pick number 1 in the Dynasty mock draft Superflex League. I feel like this should not be a surprise to anybody, but I'm going to go with Jeremiah Love, pick number 1. Yeah, I think it just makes the most sense. He is the most dynamic player that's here on the board. I know that there's Fernando Mendoza there, and this is a super flex league, but I still feel like the value for Jeremiah Love, who's already going to be the running back 1 in that offense, should just out-trump everything that Fernando Mendoza can bring, even in a dynasty format. And so that rookie running back who's going to be elite and get all the touches is really what you want to get first, because that's the most sure thing. So that's what I'm going with, the most sure thing here in Jeremiah Love.
All right. Jeremiah Love. Yeah, I would also.
Yeah.
Again, this is a super flex, so this ADP is going to be higher than normal. I like this player from my super flex team because he's exactly the kind of quarterback profile that carries real weight in a super flex format. In a league where every manager is scrambling to secure 2 long-term starters, and where replacement level QB play can sink you weekly. Mendoza gives you something I think that's really, really valuable. Stability with room to grow, and that's the core of Superflex. Yeah, obviously there's the question of Kirk Cousins. Is he going to start the year? But it doesn't matter because they drafted him 101, and this is a dynasty league. So 101 Superflex, I'm going to have to go Fernando Mendoza. In a different draft, I don't know if necessarily I would. This one's a little harder for me, I would say, in general.
Yeah.
Okay, I like the top 2 receivers here as well.
Mm-hmm.
I personally probably wouldn't go Mendoza here. I would probably wait till 103 because I would like the upside of these receivers more. But in this format, for the context of our viewers, Mendoza at 102 is perfect for Superflex, and that's what I'm going to go. So.
All right. Fair enough. I feel like that's good value at 102. You get the top quarterback, the number 1 pick overall. I feel like his potential in year 1 may not be as high as Cam Ward's was last year, but I still feel like he's going to have some opportunities to play this year. Maybe it's week 1, maybe it's week 8, who knows? But I think Fernando Mendoza is definitely somebody in a dynasty league that you got to get early, because especially if you're in a cute quarterback needy team, like mine is in my dynasty league, I would definitely target Fernando Mendoza if I was in a dynasty super flex league.
There you go.
All right. So 103, I'm going to go with my favorite wide receiver that's here on the board, and that would be my boy, Jordan Tyson. Very similar to the dynasty mock we did a couple weeks ago. But I think Jordan Tyson is just the most elite playmaker out of the bunch. I think that he has the best landing spot going to the New Orleans Saints. And I'm really excited to see what happens with him there, getting a lot of the targets and being a really pass-heavy PPR machine in that offense. And so I think this is a great pick at 103. I don't know if Mossor would agree with me, but I like it a lot.
Great pick. I have Carnell Tate slightly higher, but I think they're both going to be studs. So I can't really argue it. So naturally, if I have Carnell Tate ranked a little higher, I'm going to go Carnell Tate here at 104. I disagree. I think that Carnell Tate's landing spot is wonderful. And he's going to get volume. I think he's one of the rare wideouts who still command top 4 capital. I mean, even in Superflex format, where quarterbacks usually dominate early picks, and this year, this is a perfect example where there's Fernando Mendoza went 101, but he was my 52nd overall ranked prospect in this draft. That tells you something. 2027 for Superflex is going to be totally different because there are allegedly 10 to 15 quarterbacks that could be franchise changes guys. It's going to be insane. Yeah. So take it for, with a grain of salt, but Carnell Tate, I think he steps into Tennessee as more than just rookie upside. He steps in as the future face of their passing game. I truly believe that. The Titans didn't make him the first wide receiver off the board by accident at 104 as well. They drafted to be the guy they build around as Cam Ward develops. And when you look at the depth chart, the path is absolutely wide open for this guy. Absolutely wide open to be the number 1. Calvin Ridley is an injury-prone, short-term piece. Wan'Dale Robinson is a role player, and they play different positions in the wide receiver receiver room. So I think Tate is the one with the draft capital, the polish, and the long-term runway, and I am going to be buying a lot of Carnell Tate in this offense.
That sounds like it, and I'll buy some. I don't know if I'm buying as many as you, but I will definitely be a buyer of Carnell Tate because the talent alone is good enough in Dynasty leagues. So at 105, I'm kind of torn between two people here, so I might make a surprise move, and you're probably going to hate it, but I'm going to go with another running back who just has a bunch of opportunity in front of him, and that's Jadarian Price. While I do like Mekhi Lemon a lot and like the landing spot a lot too, I just feel like opportunity from the get-go is just going to be great for Jadarian Price, and I mean, it's really hard to pass up on just the availability and opportunity and touches that he's going to get for fantasy football. And so, I mean, you can talk me into Mekhi Lemon at 105, but I just feel like the opportunity is there to hit the ground running, pun intended, for Jadarian Price.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily like the player at all. I like his situation. I like that he's drafted in the first round. He was like my 8th overall running back in this draft. So we'll see. But I mean, the opportunity is going to be there. That pass catching profile scares the bejesus out of me, especially for fantasy football. Like I said, 17 catches total in all of his college football career is awful when you want to translate to the NFL for fantasy. But we'll see. All right,
the goal line work touchdowns. That's all I'm wanting here. So,
I guess. All right, 106. Mekhi Lemon. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I think he's one of those rare wide receivers who checks every box you want, when you draft him early in super flex formats. Immediate role, especially after June 1st, when we all know not for a fact, but know pretty much that AJ Brown is going to be off that offense. He's got, long-term upside and a landing spot that practically guarantees relevance. And that means something. In super flex, you normally lean quarterback, but I really, really like his situation. I really, really like this player. I think Philly didn't take him to be a passenger. They took him because they know that the wide receiver room is about to shift, and they need someone who's going to be there long term. Lemon steps into camp as, I think, the clear wide receiver 2 after June 1st, of course. And the only players behind him are depth pieces who really aren't built to challenge him. Especially after they draft him in the first round. I mean, you think of, they have Elijah Moore. They have just a bunch of guys. Dontavian Wicks they traded for. Like there's nobody challenging this guy for wide receiver 2. I think he is going to feast in this offense.
Yeah, I agree, and I like him a lot too. It's a really tough pick between Price and Lemon for me.
Sure.
I like both a lot, so I think if you're at 106, whoever falls to, you're getting great value there.
Yeah.
All right, so 107 in the Superflex Dynasty mock draft. I'm probably going to really make some people crazy here with this pick, but I'm going to take a quarterback, and that is going to be my guy, Carson Beck. I know. I told you it was going to be crazy. So, yeah, people are probably thinking, why are you taking Carson Beck so high? A, this is a super flex league, so I think quarterback has a higher premium in the draft. But B, Carson Beck I like more coming into year 1 more than Ty Simpson. He has the opportunity to compete for the starting job. Jacoby Brissett is sitting out, trying to demand higher pay, which is great. I hope he gets paid. But even then, Carson Beck can still impress the coach and the team and really win that QB1 job. So I'm not ruling it out, even if he doesn't start the year off by being QB1. This is a dynasty league, and I think that there's still value long-term if he can come in later in the season and kind of pull like a Tyler Shuck and show people, hey, I deserve to play in this league. And I think he has the tools and the talent to do so. So I think 107, I would take a risk in a gamble and reach for Carson Beck.
I love it, and I hate it. And I think it's awesome, and I think it's ridiculous. I mean, Carson Beck, 3rd round quarterback, right? He was 3rd round this year. Yeah.
Yep,
I mean, you got Ty Simpson, who is 13th overall. Obviously, I mean, Beck has the clearer path to relevance early. Ty Simpson's looked to possibly be that guy who's going to be the future for the Rams. I think Carson Beck is a sneaky pick. I would not take him at 107, but I do like that. I like it. I like it, David.
Well, thanks.
I hate it, but I like it. So,
well, we'll see what happens. But I do like the upside here for fantasy. If he does play this year, which I think he will,
I think he's going to be a freaking stud with Arizona.
I agree. Like he's got the weapons around him. He's got the offense, the playmakers. He's smart enough, dynamic enough with his legs that he can move around. Like I think he's got the skill. So
I think he was drafted in a perfect situation, and I don't know if he's the future of that team, but I really like the potential that he has. I'm excited about the player there. So yeah, he was my QB2 coming in the draft for a reason, and everyone called me crazy, but we'll see. So all right, next one.
My QB2.
There you go. You called me crazy. That's funny.
I might have, but now I've come around on him. So
there you go. All right, we're gonna go 108 Casey Concepcion.
Reception.
I mean, what can I say about this dude? Cleveland drafted Concepcion to be the guy immediately. I think he's a perfect complement with Denzel Boston in that offense as well. KC is going to be the volume guy, the yards after catch guy, as Boston is that, take the top off the defense, physical outside receiver, boundary guy. I love this dude. I love KC Concepcion. I mean, he walks in as, I think, the instant wide receiver one. Of course, he's got to work on his hands. There was even rumors that, today he might have dropped a ball in the end zone for the very last play of practice, which can't happen. But he's a rookie and he'll learn. When I talked about his drops previously, you talked about obviously his horrible quarterback play. I talked about concentration as well. And hopefully Todd Monken and staff can put that all together for him. I think what makes him appealing in Superflex is the stability he gives your roster. I think, while other managers are reaching for shaky QB2s like David just did, or developmental players, you're going to lock in a guy who can give you high volume production for years. I truly believe that. I think his game translates immediately into the NFL. Quick separation, like I said, yards after catch, the ability to create, easy throws for a quarterback who needs receivers who can win on their own. And I think that's exactly the type of profile that, keeps your weekly floor high. And while you navigate the volatility, I guess, of the quarterback landscape in Cleveland. I really like the player, and I think he's going to do great in Cleveland. So
yeah, I like it a lot too. I think it's a great pick for 108. So yeah, great job. All right, at 109, I'm going to go with another receiver type of a player, and that would be Kenyon Sadiq, the first tight end off the board. I feel like his opportunity in New York is going to be pretty much sky high. He's going to be the tight end one. He's going to demand plays in the passing game. And I feel like if eventually he gets the right quarterback, he can be an absolute stud at the tight end position for a long time. And so you're thinking in a dynasty league, you want people that are going to have a long career, that are going to be successful. And Kenyon Sadiq, if they get a quarterback next year, is really set up to do so. And so I like the pick here a lot. He seems like he'll catch a lot of touchdowns and just be a really dynamic weapon for that offense.
I like it, David. I like it a lot. Yeah, I agree. I think Sadiq is, we'll see what the offense is, but he's going to get his. So, all right, I'm going to go once again, for those just joining in, this is a Superflex rookie mock draft that we're going through here. So this is why it looks a little different. That's why you have Carson Beck taken so early by David. For 110, right? We're on 110. Yeah. Yep. I'm going to go Ty Simpson, quarterback.
There it is. Quarterback 3.
I think the Rams going to take him early because they needed a camp arm. They took him because they see the upside, the arm talent, the mobility, the flashes of creativity, and they know that Matthew Stafford isn't a long-term solution anymore, albeit he's coming off that MVP season. Clearly Ty Simpson isn't ready to run an NFL offense today, but he doesn't have to be. He's in a great situation for what he needs. In Superflex, you're drafting for the timeline as well, not just the player. And his timeline lines up perfectly for, with what a team is preparing for life after Matthew Stafford. From a roster building standpoint, this is, I think, the exact type of pick that gives you leverage. While other managers, they're going after all the receivers and stuff, you're going to get a quarterback that is going to be at least a QB1 and get the opportunity. Think Jordan Love. That's the kind of think. It went from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. That's what they're trying to do here. They're investing in the player. The rookie outlook, obviously, he's developmental, but long-term outlook, he is, I think, a great pick. We'll see. He's going to get the opportunity. They didn't draft him this early for nothing. So I'm going to take that shot on him. So
yeah, and I feel like if you're picking from 110 to 112 at the end of the first round, your team is already good, making a deep run in the playoffs for fantasy. And so
so
taking a shot on somebody who's not going to be needed year one is going to be really, really valuable for you.
And not to mention, like quarterbacks in general usually go earlier. So the fact that you're getting a first round quarterback at 110 is insane for Superflex. So
and he might have to sit a year on your bench, but you don't need to use him, so it's fine. So I like it a lot, actually. All right, at the 111, I'm going to take the best player available on my board, and that would be Denzel Boston, wide receiver for the Cleveland Browns. You've been talking about the videos we've been seeing from the Cleveland Browns so far, and Denzel Boston has been making some big plays. He hit a nice deep touchdown pass from Deshaun Watson, it looked like, and so Boston's looking explosive, looking like some people were maybe sleeping on him in the draft, and he fell to the Browns, and the Browns are really in a position to take full advantage of a young stud like him, and so he may just be a very good best ball player to start, but I think down the road he's going to really prove himself as more of the T. Higgins in this offense, more so than a Jamar Chase. And I think that he will just be an absolute stud moving forward. So I think 111 is great value for him.
Yeah, I like it. Like it a lot. All right, give me Eli Stowers.
Eli Stowers at the 112 to round out the first round.
Eli Stowers. I didn't like the prospect as much as other people did because of his lack of mass and his absolutely he's a what else? How do I say this? Opposite of reliable.
A liability.
A liability, not reliability. Thank you. I could not
a liability.
I know. No, I know. I was thinking of reliability. Nonetheless, he is a liability in the run game. He cannot block. He has no mass. He's got chicken legs. He has got no torque, no anchor, and that made me nervous. But with the Eagles, it looks like he's clearly going to be used as strictly a wide receiver, and I really like that. He's got, if he was going to switch to a receiver profile, I would absolutely change his his ranking, and I love the fit, and I think he's going to do really, really good. And Philly didn't draft him to sit quietly behind Dallas Goedert. They drafted because they know Goddard's contract is clicking. That's going to end soon, or ticking is what I meant. The contract clock is ticking. Oh my gosh, I can't talk today, David. Nonetheless, they needed their next feature tight end, and Stowers walks into camp as a tight end too, but the gap between him and long-term starting job is basically just time, in my opinion. So behind those two, I think he's going to do great, and he might even threaten the starting job this year. I know a lot of people like Dallas Goedert, but Stowers is going to be undeniable when it comes to on the field. He's going to get his snaps, and he's going to get the ball because he's a playmaker, and he can make play. He's so fast, he's so shifty. I like him a lot. So super flex angle, I'll take Eli Stowers here and hope that he just dominates in a Eagles offense that is going to need another pass catcher after AJ Brown gets traded. So
yeah, I agree, and I think it's a great spot for him. His value here kind of reminds me a little bit of Harold Fannin Jr. last year, where he kind of had to sit behind a veteran who was pretty good, maybe not an elite guy, but still a quality tight end. And I think eventually he'll prove himself that he's going to be the tight end moving forward. It might take us some time. It might not happen until later in this first half of the season or second half of the season, but I think Eli Stowers will eventually get his. And so, yeah, I like it.
All right, real quick, before we jump into the first round, I just want to remind people that this is a Superflex rookie dynasty mock draft. Superflex meaning that quarterback is most important. That's why you see Carson Beck and Ty Simpson and all those guys in the first round here, just so everyone doesn't think we are stupid.
Yeah, let's take a little bit of a break, and we'll be right back for round two. All right, we are back for round two of our Dynasty Superflex mock draft on the Commissioner's Couch podcast. So here at the 201, I'm kind of torn, if I'm being honest with you. There's still some good players left on the board. But I'm going to try and take a player that I have just believed in from the start, and that would be Mr. Elijah Surratt. I was waiting for a reaction.
Mr. Reach over here, man.
I like the players. So Elijah Surratt is somebody who I've liked throughout the whole draft process. And I think at the 201, yes, you could go with his teammate, Jacoby Lane, but I feel like Elijah Surratt is just going to be proving himself to be a better wide receiver for that offense moving forward. He's somebody who's reliable, durable, will catch anything you throw at him, and just going to have sure hands with the ball. And I feel like he's going to be the type of player that will be really good in the scramble drill, which Lamar Jackson's really good at, and find open spaces and just sit in them and wait for the ball, and he'll be really good at making plays that way. And so I like the pick here at 201. You might think it's a reach, but I like it a lot. So
yeah, I think it's a reach, but whatever. I mean, at this point in the draft, like once we get through the middle of the second round, it's torture. So
yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. All right, 202. I'm gonna go Antonio Williams.
Antonio Williams, nice
receiver out of Washington. I mean, Washington's depth chart behind Terry McLaurin is basically a collection of role players. I think Antonio Williams is the only guy in that room with true 3-level ability, and that's why I think is going to matter immediately in this offense. I think he is going to walk into camp as a clear wide receiver too, and the Commanders drafted him with the expectations that he becomes their chain mover and timing route specialist. Young quarterbacks lean on receivers who separate cleanly and show up in the right spot every snap. And I think that is absolutely Antonio Williams' entire game. I mean, from a Superflex Dynasty angle, I think this pick is about locking in a long-term wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3 who can grow with the offense. I really, really like this player. I really, really love that he got drafted to Washington, specifically for Jaden Daniels, because I am a Jaden Daniels fan, and I think this dude needs some weapons and a big shareholder. Yeah, I do need some weapons. Yeah, I mean, rookie year outlook. A steady PPR flex option who could realistically finish second on the team in targets. I think long term, I think he's got a high floor, and he's a high floor, great dynasty asset with a real chance to become Washington's most reliable receiver once that offense matures and Terry McLaurin ages out. So
yeah,
not to mention McLaurin suffered last year with that quadricep injury that left him out of a lot of games. So some weeks you never know, he could be wide receiver 1, which would be insane. So I love the value here. I love the player actually, and I'm gonna take him at 202.
202. Yeah, I like the pick a lot. I think he should have a pretty clear path to become wide receiver 2 on that team. If he doesn't, I'd be surprised in all honesty, but I like the pick a lot here. Should be opportunity season for Antonio Williams. Here at the 203, I'm also just going to go with people who have great opportunity, and that is going to be Omar Cooper Jr. I don't necessarily love the player that much. I think his game is a little bit limited, but I do like the opportunity that he has to be the clear wide receiver 2 behind Garrett Wilson, maybe behind the tight end in that offense. Why did I just forget his name? Kenyon Sadiq. Thank you.
The guy you drafted, just
the guy that I literally drafted last round. Yeah. But yeah, I think Omar Cooper Jr. should have a lot of opportunity to catch a lot of passes and kind of prove whether or not he's going to be a playmaker in this league. And here at the 203, I just feel like he slipped a little bit. You got a lot of value in the pick, and you just got to roll the dice a little bit. So I like it.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I hate it.
I had a feeling.
I probably am not going to draft the guy ever. So I'm just not a fan. I think he was like my wide receiver 23 coming into this draft, and I'm off that train. You guys deal with that bum. So all right, 204. I'm going to go Chris Bell.
Chris Bell. I was also thinking of him with my last pick too.
Yeah, I really, Chris Bell coming out of Louisville. Obviously, we talked about him a couple weeks ago, but he tore his ACL late in the season last year. I think, but he's recovering, and Miami didn't just draft him to be just a guy. They're hoping that he can be. Hope they got a steal. Honestly, yeah. He's going to bring in physicality and a boundary presence this offseason that they flat out don't have. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle are all gone. There's nobody in that offense. It is a open battle. You have Malik Willis, they signed, and then they traded away his best player in Jalen Waddle, and then they gave Devin Achane a major contract.
Contract.
So I don't know what they're doing, but I love the opportunity that Chris Bell has if he comes back fully healthy. I loved the player before he got hurt. I loved him. I really, 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 really did. He is a bully. He wins with slants, digs, posts, contested balls when defenses overplay the speed. And I think, he's the one receiver in that room who can win when, the play isn't perfectly timed. So opportunities there. I am going to hope that he takes those opportunities by the balls. I don't know how to say.
Yeah, I think he definitely has the opportunity there, and this is a dynasty league again, so he is may get off to a slow start, but you're still talking about the long-term career of this player who could become the wide receiver 1 for a long time in that team, right. And just be a stud. So I like it a lot here at the 204.
There you go.
All right, 205. I'm probably going to go back to being Mr. Reach on a pick here, but I'm going to do it. So quarterback, Drew Aller.
Oh, man. Please be in my Superflex leagues when we start.
So I know that probably people are thinking this is a reach, but Aaron Rodgers is coming back, and he already announced this is his farewell tour, his last year playing in the NFL. The Pittsburgh Steelers picked Drew Aller for a reason. They saw that he had potential. Yes, he may need some time to develop, but I think maybe in a year he could be the quarterback one for that team, and you could find some good value here in the second round. Mossor shaking his head no, but who's to say Aaron Rodgers is either getting hurt this year or the Steelers are so bad that they end up trading Aaron Rodgers away to finish his career elsewhere, and then they start somebody like a Drew Aller to see what he looks like. So
Drew Aller, screw that guy. Will Howard, baby. Will Howard is going to be QB1.
He's a Buckeye legend. But yeah, I think Drew Aller has some good value here, both in the long term and maybe as a sleeper in the short term. So,
all right. I disagree, but it's because I'm biased and I hate Drew Aller. All right. I'm going to go Jonah Coleman. Running back out of Denver. Wow, we're almost done.
We are.
All right, yeah. Jonah Coleman, running back out of Denver. I do not like the situation at all. It's a awfully crowded running back room. You got J.K. Dobbins. You got R.J. Harvey. You got Jaleel McLaughlin. Now you have Jonah Coleman. Jonah Coleman was my RB2 going into the draft. But I don't know, man. I mean, landing spots suck sometimes, and this backfield, like I said, is a blender. I don't know who's going to be the guy. I have no idea. R.J. Harvey is a former second-round pick. He had a decent rookie year last year. J.K. Dobbins is, I think, a great running back when he's not hurt. And I really, really, really like Jonah Coleman and his receiving ability. So, I mean, for a dynasty, I hate this pick so much.
This is where the draft gets really hard in both Superflex and regular dynasty.
Yeah. I mean, I like the player. I'm betting on the player. I like the offense. I like Sean Payton's offense. Sean Payton has a history of using two running backs. Yep. So hopefully he's one of them. At this point, it's a flyer.
Yeah, but who's to say if he does end up winning the job as a running back one? I don't think we can rule that out of the question. He could be insanely valuable here in the second round. So I don't hate it.
I mean,
I also feel like the floor's all the way down in hell, but like he could also shoot up to be a very, very valuable asset as well for the fantasy year. So
especially in the passing game.
So. All right, the 207, I'm going to go with another running back as well, and I'm going to pick Nicholas Singleton. Also somebody who we both liked coming out of Penn State for the draft, somebody who may be a little bit crowded to start the season in that running back room. But I think the coaching staff really likes this guy, and that's going to matter because it's a brand new coaching staff. So I think you get somebody like a Nicholas Singleton who may need some time to kind of learn a little bit as the season starts, kind of take like a Nick Chubb role to start his rookie year. But then he's going to have a game where he has like 6 carries and 3 touchdowns, and you're going to be like, okay, he needs to be the running back one. So I really like the value here. I think that long term he can still be that running back one, and you're still getting him at a really good pick here. So.
All right. Yeah, I do like that pick. I think that he has got great potential into possibly stealing that starting job. Obviously, he had the late injury in the Senior Bowl, and we'll see how he heals from that. But he was the number one prospect coming out of high school. Went to Penn State, had the expectations of Saquon Barkley. Obviously, that's a huge burden on your shoulders. Never really necessarily lived up to that. But he's split with Katron Allen, and we'll see. I mean, I think he's got a very good clear path to start. So,
agreed.
All right, 208. I'm going Ted Hurst. Ted Hurst, baby.
Ted Hurst. I was thinking of Ted Hurst as well.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers receiver. They drafted him because he brings something to offense that they hope can be replicated since now that Mike Evans is not on that team. He's a bully. He's a leverage fighter. He's an outside receiver, a contested catch specialist who treats every rep like a fist fight. Mike Evans was that vertical alpha, the big guy. And then they were missing it, once he went over to the 49ers. There's Chris Godwin, there's Emeka Ibuka, there's Jalen McClellan. But Ted Hurst just brings something different to that offense that they desperately needed since last season, since Mike Evans. So stupid that I said that. I don't know. I'm hearing great things out of camp so far. Obviously, it's early, but the opportunity is there, and he had great production in college, and he's a 6'4", decently sized receiver who I think can do some things on the offense. So give me Baker's possible wide receiver 2 here.
Yeah, I like it. And here you're just really trying to get players who have opportunity and the traits kind of matching up. So I think there's a lot of opportunity here for Ted Hurst. And here at the 209, I'm also going to take somebody who has opportunity and traits as well. And that's going to be Malachi Fields. Very similar, I feel like, to Ted Hurst's landing spot. Opportunity to become the wide receiver 2 may take some time to get there. But I do like the landing spot. I like his traits. He's a big body wide receiver, kind of a little bit different than Malik Neighbors in that offense, who's also coming off of an injury and still kind of working his way through rehab and all that. So I think there's opportunity here for Malachi Fields. Can he emerge as that wide receiver 2 in this offense and become a red zone weapon for them? I think so. And here at the 209, I'm going to take a chance on it. So
there you go. I like Fields a lot. I think he's going to be the wide receiver 2 out the gate, and he
should be.
Maybe wide receiver 1, depending on Malik Neighbors and how he comes back. And I haven't really heard his injury status.
I think Coach Harbaugh today mentioned how he's in the thick of his comeback rehab work.
Yeah. Well, didn't he recently just have another surgery on that knee, a minor one? I
think so, yes. And he's just
so that's something to monitor. Sure.
Yeah. Get through this.
So Malachi Fields can go into the wide receiver 1 role immediately in an offense that looks to be electric and fun. So great pick this late for sure. All right. Again, this is a Dynasty rookie Superflex draft. That was so lame.
Thank you.
29?
29?
No one else knows that reference. New girl. All right. I hate this pick. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna go DeJon Stribling.
Oh boy, let me find him. I might just have to type him in. I don't know why he's so low.
Stribling.
There he is. Oh wait.
Yep, that's what he looks like, guys. I did not have him as the first pick in the second round this year. Clearly, I don't think many people did. But I'm going to take that draft capital and run with it here, especially this late in the draft. Do I love the player? No. But he's going to have a defined role in that offense for sure. He's going to be the wide receiver 2 behind Mike Evans. It is a little bit crowded. They got Ricky Pearsall. They got a lot of just guys who they hope, and I think this is another guy that they're just going to throw in there and hope. And that kind of sucks. But in an offense that is really, really good, even when last year, when injuries really, sustained a ton of injuries in that wide receiver room, in that quarterback room, they still had a top 5 offense most of the year. Christian McCaffrey, absolutely he was a top 10 receiver along with running back. Insane. This guy should lighten the load a little bit. He's a long, smooth boundary mover. He's got, he's patient when he runs, and relatively, I think he's controlled and a somewhat reliable isolation winner. And he is not the number 1 receiver on the team. Teams are going to have to focus on Mike Evans, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey. So he's going to have opportunities. So because of where he was drafted, I don't necessarily love the player, but I do respect where players are drafted and what NFL teams are telling me. So I'm going to draft him there because of that. So
yeah, no, I agree. And I'm curious to see, because I feel like right now it's pretty much Stribling or Pearsall. Who do you like more?
Right.
But here in a rookie draft, Superflex League, taking Stribling here at the 210 when he was literally pretty much a first-round pick, I think is really, really good value. And so I like it a lot. And if he hits, you got a great hit. If he doesn't, you really didn't miss out on much.
Yeah, whatever. It's a late second-round pick and a crappy draft, so
Yep. All right. Here at the 211, I'm going to take my guy that I like here the most, and that would be Chris Brazzell, wide receiver for Carolina. Kind of similar to Ted Hurst and Malachi Fields. I feel like he's just got opportunity and traits to become a wide receiver too. Big body who can move and is fast. I think he's going to be a very good mix with Tet McMillan as well in that offense. And so I think he's already shown some flashes in camp and OTAs. I'm excited to see what happens once preseason gets here, but I think he's somebody who could be a bit of a surprise for some people come fantasy football season.
All right. And for the last pick in this mock draft,
I know who you're going to pick.
Give me it.
Taylor Green.
No.
Whoa.
No, that's stupid. I'm going Jacoby Lane.
Okay.
Taylor Green.
Hey,
I love Taylor Green. I'd take him in the third round. In a super flex league. In a super flex league. 301. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I love Jacoby Lane. Jacoby Lane was a top 5 receiver coming out of the draft for me. I know that's crazy, but I really, really like the player, and I like the landing spot. It's probably going to be between him and Elijah Surratt, who is going to be the next guy in the offense and getting I can't talk. Volume is the word. Getting volume. But I'm gonna go for the guy who they drafted earlier. I like both players, but I like Jacoby Lane a lot more. He's big. I think he complements Zay Flowers really well. Zay Flowers is more of that separator guy. And Jacoby Lane's the big body outside receiver who's gonna go get that ball. He's a jump ball specialist. I think truly he's probably the one receiver in this draft class who I think brings true above the rim dominance. And I say dominance, the kind of, guy who you go win it, even if you're covered, it doesn't matter. Go get that ball. And he does, and I think that's a player that Lamar Jackson never really consistently had as a teammate. He's a vertical stressor, a red zone problem, a sideline artist who plays like he's 6'6". He's not. I think Baltimore, I think they got a steal here. I really, really, really love Jacoby Lane. It sucks that he's going to be in the AFC North. So,
yeah, I agree. He's the type of player that Lamar's never had.
Yeah,
I think even at what's his face, the tight end there,
Mark Andrews.
No, his other one.
Isaiah Likely's gone.
Isaiah Likely, even at his peak, it wasn't like the same type of skill set that Jacoby Lane can bring.
Sure.
And so I like it a lot here. And so, yeah, there you have it. That is our 2-round Dynasty Superflex mock draft. There you have it, with a lot of fun quarterbacks.
Nice.
Maybe some were reaches, some were not, but there you have it in all of its glory. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back. So there you have it. That was our fun Dynasty mock draft Superflex edition. So what were your biggest takeaways, Moss?
Carson Beck. I hated the pick. I love the pick. I don't know. What'd you take? 105, 106?
Yeah, 105.
105 is a little early for me, but I secretly
107.
107. So a little early for me, but I secretly love it, secretly hate it. But in a draft where there are not a lot of top end talent, I'm cool with it. So
yeah.
What about you?
I feel like at some point you kind of have to reach for some of the quarterbacks because it's super flex. Otherwise,
at some point,
I think you might miss out on some quality players.
But not at 107.
But I would rather reach on a Carson Beck than a Ty Simpson personally. And maybe I'm crazy, but
I don't think you're crazy. I like it. So you want to do a call to action real quick, bud?
Yeah, let's do it. So thank you all so much for coming in and tuning in every week with us. We love putting on this podcast. We love talking about fantasy football. We know it's still only May and OTAs are happening. Players are still figuring out who they are in the NFL, but we're really excited to kind of give you an edge up on the fantasy football world going into the summer and into next football season. So if you're following us right now and you're listening, go ahead and follow us on all the socials that we have. We're on X, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, pretty much wherever you are, we're trying to be. So give us a follow, subscribe to us, turn on our notifications because you're not going to want to miss all the posts and content that we've got coming your way. And if you're listening to us in podcast form, go ahead and subscribe to us, turn on automatic downloads. leave us a 5-star review and tell us what you think of our podcast. We're really excited to engage with you guys there as well. So
Please
follow us wherever you are. We're just trying to be there.
Before we get out of here, I just want to take a moment to thank our show sponsor, Mossor Moments Photography, which, if you haven't already noticed, it's my business with my wife, Hallie, and I that we run together. Mossor Moments Photography is our husband and wife wedding photography team based right here in Cleveland. For the past 10 years, Hallie and I have had the privilege of photographing more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond. Every single one of those weddings was shot together, just the two of us working side by side, capturing the day as a true team. We care about the most, what we care about the most is, telling the real story of a wedding day, the genuine moments, the emotion, the little interactions that actually matter years later. We want couples to feel comfortable, natural, and completely themselves in front of the camera. And we approach every wedding with that mindset. No stiff posing, no forced smiles, just honest, meaningful images that feel true to who you are. Cleveland is home, but our inspiration comes from everywhere we've traveled and every couple that we've met. And whether it's a backyard ceremony or a full-scale destination wedding, we bring the same warmth, the same consistency, and the same passion to every single shoot. If you want to see our work or learn more, you can visit us at MossorMomentsPhotography.com. That's MOSSOR photography.com right there on the screen for those who are watching. All right, Dave.
All right,
and with that, we're going to wrap up season 2, episode 14, the 27th episode overall of the Commissioner's Couch Fantasy Football Podcast. Another night on the couch, another mock draft in the books. That's number 2 now. Love it. It's fun.
We're rolling along.
Yeah, we are. Another step, forward for this show that, you all continue to help us build, and we're really grateful for. Before we sign off, I want to share something important with you all that, if you've been riding with us since day one, you know that we've been a part of the Inside Edge Network. We are grateful for them. We have loved our time there, but the Commissioner's Couch podcast is officially going to be going independent after this episode. We're going to be stepping away from the Inside Edge Network, and I want to make this crystal clear. This move is mutual, it's positive, and it's built on nothing but respect for us and for them. There's no drama, no tension, nothing like that. No behind the scenes story. We're all still friends. We're all still supporting each other, and all still be a part of the Inside Edge family on the Voice of the Land podcast. Just like always, the show I had just before here. This is simply the next chapter for this show. It's a chance for us to grow, to experiment, and to build something that reflects exactly who we are and what we want this podcast to become. Now with that being said, we're also going to be taking a short breather. David is heading out on vacation for the next 2 weeks, and honestly, I'm going to take advantage of the break too. So we won't be live for the next 2 weeks. No episodes, no streams, just a little reset before we hit that summer grind. But when we come back, we're diving straight into one of the most important off-season conversations. The NFL coaching carousel is what we call it. New staff, new systems, new philosophies, and more importantly, which players stand to benefit the most from those changes. We're talking scheme fits, opportunity shifts, and how coaching moves, can reshape fantasy value as you see it. If you're into coaching changes, player impact, or just want to sharpen your off-season prep, this next episode in 3 weeks is going to be 3 weeks is going to be the one right up your alley. So until then, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for supporting this show through every twist and turn. And thank you for being part of this community we're building. Again, a huge thank you to the Inside Edge Network. We are grateful for the opportunities that you guys gave us. You gave us a platform and a foundation to step on and spread our wings and go off on our own. And we're really, really grateful for that.
Yeah. Can I just say something too real fast about that?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so I just want to thank the Inside Edge Network too. They've really helped us get our footing and help us grow as podcasters, as streamers, as people trying to put out all this information for you. And we wouldn't be here today without them. And so I really just want to thank them because they've helped us kind of gain this, as Mossor said, grounding and footing for where we're at and how we're going to take the next step forward too. And so thank you guys so much. It's been an honor being here. So thank you.
Please go follow them at Inside Edge Net. They have great content. Some of my content will still be on there. Go look at their website, theinsideedgenetwork.com. They have merch on there. Go find out all the shows. Please check them out. This is an amicable split. We're really grateful for what they have helped us with, and we are excited for the future for this podcast. So thank you again, Inside Edge Net. We are grateful. Shout out to Double A. Shout out to my friend Peter Telp and all the other guys over there, Eli Moon, Chad, TK and everyone else, we are grateful for you guys. We love you guys. And, anytime you guys want to come on our show or vice versa, it's open there as well. So,
yep.
Everyone else, thank you so much. We will see you in a couple weeks. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And as always, we'll see you back on the couch in a few weeks.
Good luck.
Good luck.